Right now on NBC26 at 10, Michael's two people, a cold case arrest here in Sturgeon Bay, plus a man fighting ALS won't let the disease stop him from dreams of fighting fires. We'll share his story tonight. And then the firefighter battle with ALS. And thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Jarko. John is on assignment. 4 decades after a woman's disappearance in Sturgeon Bay, her husband now arrested and charged with her alleged murder. NBC26's Stacey Engebretson is in the newsroom with the new developments in what was a longtime cold case.
Law enforcement is searching 82-year-old Richard Pierce's property. They say they're looking for the remains of his former wife, Carol Pierce, who vanished in September 1975. The couple lived along this road in Sturgeon Bay, but Richard quickly moved to Sheboygan, Michigan after Carol disappeared. Court documents contain witness interviews that paint a picture of an abusive marriage. On Thursday, officers went to Richard's home and took him into custody. He's now charged with first-degree murder in her alleged death after 4 decades of tireless work.
We're ecstatic. Everyone that has worked on this since her disappearance, several officers have since retired. Tom Baudouin was brought back on our payroll to continue this investigation a little over a month ago, and this is now we're seeing the culmination of 43 years.
During Thursday's news conference, authorities did not reveal any new evidence that led to Richard's arrest. He's now awaiting extradition back to Door County to face the charges against him. Reporting in the newsroom, Stacey Engebretson, NBC26.
An arrest warrant issued for a 29-year-old Menasha man in connection to the death of a toddler in an apartment fire. Police releasing this photo today, saying it's the best they have of Vernon Williams. He's charged with child neglect. Investigators say Williams was severely drunk and asleep when 2 of 3 children he was watching got a lighter and started the fire last month on First Street. An 18-month-old boy died days later. Everyone else got out. If you know where Williams is, you're asked to call Menasha Police. Now to a follow-up report. Cleanup continues for a Harrison neighborhood after a home explosion early Wednesday morning. NBC26's Ryan Curry spoke with one resident about how she's recovering after the scare.
It was about 10 to 8, and I woke up and I thought a big truck hit the house or maybe a tree fell down.
Jenny Hoffman has lived in this home in Harrison since she was a little girl. She says this week has been one of the scariest of her life.
I thought like an earthquake, but even though I've never been in an earthquake, I don't know what it would feel like, but it woke me up. The dog was sound asleep. He started barking.
Wednesday morning, a home on Fire Lane 12 in Harrison exploded. The blast was so violent, homes next door are uninhabitable, and Hoffman, who lives 2 doors down from the explosion, had to board up several windows because the glass shattered.
And there's cracks in the walls. There's a window that wasn't broken that we didn't notice yesterday. When they walked around, there's like some of the stucco came off the house.
Officials from the Calumet County Sheriff's Office still do not know what caused the home to explode. 36 hours later, Hoffman's home is still without power. However, since she lives so close to the blast, she says she's lucky not to be injured.
I am very lucky, even though my bedroom faces the direction where the explosion was. Our house is cinder block, so it was a good thing it's fairly sturdy.
Keeping you connected, Ryan Curry, NBC26.
And now to Michael's impact. Florida's Panhandle just now starting to survey the damage left behind when Michael roared through with Category 4 level winds. The storm shredded homes and severely flooded roads. NBC's Wendy Woolfolk has more tonight from Panacea, Florida.
Michael's catastrophic aftermath. Mexico Beach, Florida. No match for 155-mile-per-hour winds. Much of the town reduced to rubble. Kelly Jenkins ignored warnings and tried to ride out the storm.
The sounds that I remember the most is almost like a jet engine and then a rumble. And then I could feel the whole house shaking.
Now he's trying to clean up his vacation home and salvage what he can.
It's devastating. I mean, it's a place that I love and I will always love it.
up and down the Panhandle, homes and businesses flattened. Search and rescue crews scouring damaged buildings, while the two biggest hospitals in Panama City suffered major hits, forcing hundreds of patients to be transferred.
The state health officials are actively working to evaluate those hospitals, provide critical care to patients.
Utility crews trying to restore power throughout the region, while residents look to see what's left and what it will take to rebuild their lives.
We had a lot of people lose their homes, like all their homes are just washed out. So, I mean, this is devastating.
Devastated by the storm, but not defeated. Wendy Wolfolk, NBC News, Panacea, Florida.
And for those left in the wake of Hurricane Michael, Wisconsin is sending help. A dozen Wisconsin Red Cross volunteers are going to Florida to help victims of the hurricane. Now, this comes just weeks after volunteers also went to the Carolinas to help after Hurricane Florence. And a dozen members of the Wisconsin Army National Guard will also head to Florida to help with recovery efforts. The medical evacuation unit will assist in search and rescue missions, transporting patients and delivering medical supplies. In addition to the 12 soldiers, the Guard will also send 2 Black Hawk helicopters. Back here at home, some cold air making its way through our area tonight. Meteorologist Gino Recchia is tracking the temperatures tonight. So Gino, what do we have?
It looks like we are going to be dropping down into the upper 20s and lower 30s, Matt. We do have a freeze warning for our southern tier counties. The reason why our northern tier counties are not under the freeze warning, it all has to do with that frost and freeze headlines that we had about a week and a half or so ago, where the northern tier counties said goodbye to the growing season. Well, now everyone else is going to say goodbye. If you want to take your outdoor plants that perhaps are potted, bring them inside, because otherwise by tomorrow morning they perhaps might be dead. We're talking about temperatures that will be below freezing, and that's why we're going to be seeing that freeze warning. It is quiet and the skies are gradually clearing, so with that and also with that cold air mass moving in, it does look like we will be seeing a chilly night. It looks like more cold air is on the way, though. I'll talk more about that in my full forecast.
Thank you, Gino. Decision 2018 now. As we get closer to Election Day, more polls are released. Yesterday, the Marquette University Law School poll showed Governor Scott Walker taking the lead over his challenger, Democrat Tony Evers. Today, however, a new NBC News Marist poll finds Governor Scott Walker with a double-digit deficit as he bids for a third term. It shows Evers ahead 50% to 42% among likely voters in a head-to-head matchup. In the race for U.S. Senate, the poll shows incumbent Democrat Tammy Baldwin with a 54 to 40% lead over her Republican challenger, Leah Vukmir. The Marquette poll had Baldwin up by 10 points. The candidates for governor will try and win your vote in a live debate. Walker and Evers will debate the issues Friday, October 26th, and you can watch that live right here on NBC 26. More local news now. Tonight, the Green Lake community gathering at Playground Park to stand up against domestic violence at Take Back the Night. This event put on by Christine Ahn, Domestic Abuse Services, and the nonprofit organization Traja. The goal was to raise awareness and educate people about domestic abuse. Survivors of domestic abuse were on hand and shared their experiences.
If there's one person that can be affected or learn something or change something in their life or can help a friend, all of our emotion and all of what it takes to tell our stories is so worth it.
And those gathering tonight also holding a candlelight vigil along with music to remember those lost to domestic violence. Coming up on NBC 26 at 10, Fighting Through ALS, how a local family is battling the disease and taking life one day at a time.
And now, your NBC 26 Storm Shield forecast with meteorologist Gino Recchia.
Quite cooler temperatures this afternoon as we had a cold front that came through last night, and also today we had a few little sprinkles that came through the area mixed with some filtered sunshine. Now the rain showers here were actually in the form of snowfall up to the northwest of us. It actually was coming down in the form of snow, but then thankfully with those temperatures in the 40s, those snowflakes did melt before reaching the surface. It is 40 degrees right now, but with the wind still out of the west at 13 miles per hour, it is making those wind chills feel like the mid and lower 30s. Sunset today at 6:15, sunrise right after 7 a.m. this morning. We got 32. It is now at freezing in Antigo. We got 40 degrees from Kewanee down towards Sheboygan. Sister Bay also at 40 degrees, and even in Fond du Lac, 37 in Appleton right now. Our temperatures are drastically different than just this time last night, anywhere from about 15 to 20, 25 degrees cooler. And guess what? Tomorrow, not much of really in terms of temperatures are going to be changing. We will be seeing highs in the lower to mid 40s, which, a matter of fact, is 15 degrees below the average for this time of year. The winds will also be similar to what we're seeing right now out of the west at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. And when you factor in the temperature with the winds, this is what it's feeling like right now. I was hoping not to show this wind chill map this early in the season, but with Mother Nature giving us these conditions, yes, it is feeling like winter outside right now. The radar's not showing much. This is just all ground clutter. We are seeing some gradual clearing over our skies, and that is going to aid in those temperatures from really crashing down. And it's all the reason why, due to this storm system that's now moving off to the northeast, which brought in those showers and periodic thunderstorms over the last few days. We got a secondary frontal boundary that's aiding in all that cold air coming in down south from Canada, and also this high pressure as it rotates to the clockwise rotation, pulling more of that cold air. Another powerful system which is now moving into the Carolinas and into Virginia, and just crossing over into the Atlantic Ocean is Tropical Storm Michael, 50-mile-per-hour sustained winds. It is losing its tropical characteristics, but it is going to re-intensify as a post-tropical storm as it moves over the Atlantic, sustained winds at nearly 70 miles per hour, just weaker than a Category 1 hurricane. As for us back here in northeast Wisconsin, our temperatures will drop down into the upper 20s and lower 30s overnight tonight, so that's why we do have that freeze warning in effect. And then as we get to tomorrow, well, not much is going to change. Highs only anticipated to get up into the lower 40s. So tonight, 30 degrees in Green Bay, a little bit cooler farther inland. Winds out of the west at 8 to 15 miles per hour. For tomorrow, warming up to 43 degrees. We will have more sunshine, though. At least there's some type of silver lining. Winds out of the west 5 to 15 miles per hour. We get into the 50s on Saturday, then perhaps an isolated rain shower overnight Saturday into Sunday as a cold front comes through, back into the 40s on Sunday, then mid-40s on Monday, and with the Packers playing Monday night, it is going to be a chilly game. I suggest highly to grab a jacket, at least maybe a chance to back into the 60s, Matt, as we get to Thursday. A little bit more sunshine.
But at least that rain looks like it's finally ending for a while.
Yes, we are going to be getting into this dry period, and so hopefully with the cold air and no rain, the mosquitoes can die.
Definitely. Thanks, Gino. Still ahead after the break, the story of a local family and their fight against ALS, their story of struggle, perseverance, and love, next. Welcome back. A disease with no cure comes face to face with a local family. NBC26's Juliana Falk sat down with the family on their journey through ALS.
A beautiful wife, 5 young children, and a diagnosis, giving this volunteer firefighter 3 to 5 years to live. 36-year-old Jacob Glazo was diagnosed with ALS in July after having symptoms since December. But the family isn't letting this disease take over. They're determined to fight through it.
When I was a little kid, you know, all kids look up to firefighters, so when I got the chance, I did it.
Jacob has been fighting fires for 13 years, but this is a different fight.
The first week we were pretty depressed. We kind of went to bed crying every night, woke up crying every morning, and you know, you just think about all the things that you planned for your life and you don't know if they're going to happen.
Jacob's wife Sheena helping him pack for a hunting trip in Wyoming with his brother and friend, something to finally check off his bucket list. She says to get through this, they had to change their mindset and have been tackling the disease since.
Keep our eyes and ears open to different roads. That's what we're doing, and I think it's working.
We need to just make the most of every day and make memories and not think too far in the future.
Memories with their children, 5 people in their lives they didn't know how to tell the news to. The oldest 13 and youngest 4.
We just told them that we're gonna fight. We need to stick together as a family. We need to pray, and we're gonna do everything that we can to make Daddy better and keep him here for as long as we can.
The hardest part?
Watching your husband who you love struggle and, you know, not being able to do anything about it.
Day-to-day routines becoming more challenging as time passes.
And watching your kids watch their dad struggle. You know, he's supposed to be the big tough guy.
One thing helping them stay strong.
The support through the community is unreal. I mean, never thought it's a blessing.
Jacob receiving cards and well wishes from hundreds of people, including a special letter from his high school football coach.
When I was your football coach, I admired how much of yourself you gave to the team and you never quit attitude. I knew if we were going into a tough game, I knew I could always count on you to give it your best and come out a winner. These same qualities will serve you well in battling this disease. I was proud of you then, and I'm proud of you now for the husband and father you have become. Best wishes for you and your family, and never quit believing this can get better.
Well, that support is definitely giving me a reason to fight.
That was Juliana Falk reporting tonight. The Glazos are hosting a benefit for Jacob October 20th. That starts at 1 p.m. and goes until midnight at Reedsville Fireman's Park. You can also donate to their GoFundMe page. We have a link up on our website at NBC26.com. The Brewers have a night game 1 coming up, and they have a starter for the NLCS. Plus, how much trust is floating around on the Packers offense? More on both teams next in sports.
And now, NBC26 Sports with Sports Director Charlie Sakaitis.
Welcome back to the show. The Green Bay Packers have had an up-and-down season so far, and much to the dismay of many fans, the offense hasn't been quite as explosive as in past years. But if you listen to what Aaron Rodgers has to say, the touchdowns, they're coming, and the trust, it's there.
I think we have a lot of trust on the offensive side of the ball. You know, we have to. We're an adjustment offense. We have routes that adjust, plays that adjust, runs that adjust, and you know, if we didn't trust each other, we couldn't go out there and execute. Now we need to execute at a higher level, you know, but we're not far off. This league is the difference between being a great team and an average team is very small. It's a few plays every game, and the difference between scoring 23 a game and 35 a game is plays that we need to make and we expect to make and I'll make moving forward.
Now to the Brewers, who will host Game 1 of the National League Championship Series tomorrow in Milwaukee. And today, Craig Counsell announcing that pitcher Gio Gonzalez will get the start. Gio was a late-season acquisition for the Crew. He's pitched just 5 games with Milwaukee, has a 3-0 record and a 2.13 ERA since joining the team. He never took the field in the opening round of the Brewers postseason, but now he gets the start in Game 1 of the NLCS, and he seems just fine with both scenarios.
From what I see, they didn't need me in the first round. I think our starters did a great job, and our bullpen, obviously, hands down, is the best bullpen in baseball.
We like the matchup against their lineup. And, you know, we talked about, you know, it's no secret that we're going to use our pitching a little differently than traditionally, than the traditionalists would like. For us, the first matchup that we liked was Gio on the mound. You know, we're asking Gio to go out there and get a bunch of outs. How many? You know, we'll just see how it goes.
You got to give them the best you got. And the way I told Counsell is like any way you need me, any style of pitching, I'm in. You know, this is an opportunity I get to share with a bunch of great guys, and hopefully, you know, we can continue our success and keep riding the high that we're living right now. So I want to be there no matter how many innings I got to go. And again, with this bullpen, it makes it really easy to kind of like say, all right, we're all right, we're good to go.
It certainly does, Matt. They seem all right as soon as they get to that bullpen.
The other end, Clayton Kershaw going for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
That's
he's pretty good at pitching.
He's good.
So we'll see how that game goes. It's all going to start tomorrow. Chris Berrio will be down there for the game.
Looking forward to it. We'll have a final look at your forecast coming up.
All right, well, I didn't know if you were going to talk to me, but I'll just kick it off here. Guess what? We were in the warm sector of the storm system the other last few days, but in North Dakota, they had some very significant snowfall, 17 inches of snowfall, a matter of fact, 19 inches, excuse me, and that was quite a bit of it. And this is actually a picture coming in from northern Minnesota. From Sylvia, she said she went to a movie last night. It was raining. Then when she came back, it was snowing and it was winter.
Kind of like it. Keep it out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us at 10. Have a good night.